what we are cutting are cams. To the back of a cam lock, and these cams were made of 90 thousandths acrylic. Acrylic is considered hard plastic, and that's really important when you are determining your chip load range and how you're going to go about cutting the material. This video is to quickly talk about this tool path. And what I have here is just two vectors, two tool paths, an inner prep and then an inner profile and an outer profile. And then it's a copy array tool path. After I created the tool path I want, I merge those two tool paths, and you do a copy array tool path, so many on the X, so many on the Y, and you have to give it what's either called a gap or maybe an offset. Tuning that dimension to the smallest number possible, the spacing between them is really rather crucial. Who doesn't want to pack as many pieces to harvest or yield as many pieces out of a worksheet as possible? A little bit of experimentation is always on cue when it comes to me doing this, and I'll show you what I mean. So what you're seeing is no gap between the X and the Y. So I'm basically, on the second tool path cut, I'm encroaching into the space that I already cut through. I still have two tabs, but I put them on outside corners with the idea that there would be enough holding strength or scaffolding or skeletal structure to hold it all together. The truth of the matter is, there isn't. And what occurred, after I cut 100 pieces in that fashion, I broke a tool, which is a, I am sorry, you cannot see that. That's a 762 from Onsrud. That is an 1/8 inch diameter. It's a downcut, is what it is. 1/8 inch diameter, 1/2 inch length of cut, 1/4 inch shank, 2 inch overall length. Okay. After I had broken a tool, somewhere in that area, I realized I need to increase we've gone from that to that. That holds very well. All I've given it is, on the X, 50 thousandths. On the Y, I'm still encroaching into the same space, meaning the gap there is 0.01 or something very small, 0.07, so that the tool comes in and occupies that first cut, but never touches that other cut. That to me is a winner. And the reason I want to pack those as close as possible, well, it's obvious. I want to get as many as possible as I can. Now, one thing that constantly makes my noodle is exactly how to get there, creating that gap. And if you're anything like me, you're really good at learning how to do it wrong the first time. I know that I am. But let me show you what the tool path looks like. on the X, you have 0.175. And what's happening there is, let me explain what's happening there as I figure it out first myself. Take a moment, I'm going to measure actually what I've got there, what's actually left over. So it may not be 50,000. So here's how you figure it out. My tool is 1/8 of an inch. So when I left that gap at 0.175, here's what's happening. It's about 169. Okay, let's just say that where I placed it. .175. So how am I ending up with a smaller dimension, which is about, like I said, about 50,000? Well, that's the space between two of them. Your 1/8 of an inch tool is coming in here, but what's actually happening is my tool path vector is actually in here. So 175 less half of the diameter of my 1/8 inch tool on one piece, then half of my diameter of my 1/8 inch tool on the other piece. 175 minus 0.25. Oh no, I'm sorry. Half of my 1/8 inch is a 16th. Half of my 1/8 inch is a 16th, so it's 0.125. 1.175 minus 0.0625, half, minus 0.0625, half, leaves me with what I measure. And I'm going to put the caliper on that right now. Again. get the idea. About 50,000. Okay, about 50,000. So when you think along the lines of setting that, when you do a array copy toolpath, and you set that gap, you're going to say to yourself, what is half of the diameter of my tool on the one wall? What's half of my diameter on the tool of the other wall? Or what's my tool diameter? And you add the gap you want, 50 thousandths. Well, 175 is what the tool says. After you go through it and you try to optimize as many pieces you can out of something, you find out what doesn't work, you adjust or you optimize, and then eventually you'll get to a tool path. For me, I have a lot more to cut. This works. Then, once it's done, that's a belt sander. By Ellis. You can find it online. All we're doing is taking those tabs I'm not the person doing it, and I'm doing it with one hand, but you get the concept. It's a really easy buzz off of there. I wouldn't make my tabs any smaller than what I have them at, whatever they're coming out to. .07 nominally. This job is machined, is zeroed to the machine bed. A freshly surfaced spoil board, followed by a very consistent piece of material. And it just works out great. So, this video was to talk about how to space those gaps and how I have written it into my head in terms of how to achieve that, because you look at the drawing in VCarve or Aspire or whatever you're using, to me it's a bit counterintuitive. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.